In this video, I'm going to be going over what I like to call the hero's journey. What this is every man's path that he takes in order to step into his greatness, in order to step into his in alignment with God, in order for him to move to his true purpose. Now, this comes in all different forms. Some of you guys might be searching out a physical best version of you. Some of you guys financially, you're trying to become the best. Maybe it's relationship. None of that really matters, because at the end of the day, it's who you become as a man. That's what's going to dictate where you eventually end up. You're going to get an immense amount of value from this video. And not only that, if you implement, if you pay attention to what I'm about to share with you over the next couple minutes, you're not going to just grow. That's not what happens when you implement and do what I'm going to teach you on, and what I'm going to show you. You'll have what we call, or what they call, a quantum leap. Your life won't just change by addition, it will change by multiplication. So it's enough talking, let's jump into it. So again, like I was saying before, I call this the hero's journey. Now let me be very clear, I didn't make this up. This is not something that I made up, all right? I don't even honestly remember where I heard the hero's journey. It's just something that's always resonated with me, and it was the best way to explain what I went through. So let me break this down, how this starts. So everyone has a starting point. Now your starting point is completely different, but everybody decides to leave this starting point for the exact same reasons. The reasons they decide to make this change, the reason they decide to leave their current comfort zone, is because they're extremely unhappy. Now, when I say extremely unhappy, there's a lot of people that are unhappy. There's a lot of people that are fat and overweight and they don't like it. There's a lot of people that look at their bank account and it doesn't feel good. But it hasn't struck a nerve. It hasn't hit the point where they're willing to actually do something about it. And even the ones that do decide to do something about it, that doesn't mean you're going to go on your hero's journey. You'll never trek forward into what I call the hero's journey unless you're doing it for something bigger than you. It happens and you make this decision when you just know there's something inside of you that's more. You may not know what it is. You probably can't articulate it, but you just know deep down in your soul there's something missing. You're not living up to your full potential, but there's this fire that lives deep within you that you want to kindle, that you want to bring out. And at first you may not know. I didn't know any of this. All I knew was I hated my life. I was so ashamed of who I was as a man. I was so off. I could just feel it. Nobody told me that. If you looked at my life from the outside, everything looked fine. Everything looked great, probably according to most people. But internally, I was lost. This is how I knew it was time for me to leave this point. Now, in leaving this point, this is a very lonely journey. And some of you guys probably watching this are on this journey. You're whether it's you're working on your weight or your health or your finances or your relationships, it's the same journey. It's the same. And it's a very lonely path. It's lonely as hell. And let me tell you, the two things, people, entities that you'll see on this path, right? Because you have your starting point and then you have your end, okay? Think of this literally like a story. Every story has a beginning and it has an end. Every good movie, you stay from the beginning to the end. Now, if the movie is no good, you're going to immediately disconnect. It's not going to make sense to you, and you're just going to turn off the movie, walk out the movie theater. You're not going to like it. You're not going to get to the end, right? And this will all come together and make sense in a minute. So the only two forces that you're going to see on your hero's journey is good, and you will see evil. Your friends aren't coming on this journey with you. Your mom's not coming. Your girlfriend's not coming. Your wife's not coming. Your kids can't even come. This is a journey you must and have to take by yourself. Now, when you take this journey, everything that you've known up until this point is at your starting point. Everything. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, your thoughts, your behaviors, your activities, your beliefs, everything that is what revolves in your current world is here. You're about to leave that. You're about to leave all of this behind. You want to talk about getting out of your comfort zone? You want to talk about getting outside of your box. Your whole world, as you currently view it, is here. And in order for you to succeed, you have to go way over here. And on this path, there's good and evil. These are the only two entities there. These are the only two forces there. You know, in the Bible, it talks about the very first thing once Jesus, he went through life, and it was his time to do his thing. It was his time to start preaching the message. The very first thing he did, he goes on his hero's journey. You probably remember, if you don't know the story in the Bible, the first thing Jesus does, he goes into the woods and for 40 days and 40 nights. And who was in the woods with him? Evil. Not just any evil, the devil. Right? The most cunning, powerful force of evil. And that's who he had to face. Your journey's no different. The only person that will be with you is God and evil on your journey. And as soon as you go on your journey, if you're on it, you probably know, the enemy is going to use all his best tools to stop you from getting to the end. Why? Because he knows what kind of man you'll be if you end up here. What kind of force you'll be if you end up here. Not just for yourself. This is bigger than you. Anybody who decides to go on a hero's journey understands they have more in them. This is not someone who's just trying to lose 40 pounds for vanity. No, they understand that by them getting in the best shape of their life primes their kids to never have that issue again. Their kids won't suffer the same shame, the same embarrassment. When they look in the mirror, they will never have that problem. They're not just doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their family. They understand that them losing that weight, it's not just about the weight. Their wife gets to go to sleep comfortably knowing that she has a husband that would give his life for her. But not only give his life for her, he's going to give people a lot of problems. A lot of problems along the way. Because he's physically fit, he's mentally solid, and he's ready to do anything. So again, it's the reward for finishing this, the reward for getting through the hero's journey is so great. It affects not just you, not just your family, it affects your community. This also affects other brothers around you. This also wakes other brothers up. Because it's kind of like the runaway slave. Nobody wants to be the original runaway slave. But when the other slaves see that one slave that got away, the one that made it off the plantation and is wearing the nice suits and has his hair done, has a little bit of change in his pocket. He's becoming his own man. that wakes up the plantation, that wakes up the others. It allows them to think, wow, if he can do it, I can do it. If you're watching this video and you've gotten this far, I already understand you've seen other men do what it is that you're looking to do. And at some point you said, if he can do it, I can do it. If that man can do it, I can do it. And not from a point of an ego or anything like that. You just understand there's more in you. You just haven't tapped into it for whatever reason. So as you're going on your journey, the very first person you're going to run into is evil. Why? All good will be attacked. To think otherwise is silly. It doesn't even make sense. All good will be attacked. God is what made you, is what gave you that seed. He's the one that planted the idea that there's more inside of you. That was God. That was good. Next up the bat, evil. And it's going to come in the form of shame, guilt, fear. Remember when I told you before, the enemy is going to throw all his tools at you because he understands what happens if you get to the other side. So again, he's going to hit you with fear. You're going to leave all this, all you've worked so hard for, your family, your friends, and go to this place over here that you've never been to. You don't know what's over there. You don't know what it's like. Why don't you just stay here? Just stay in this place. Yeah, it's not the best, but at least you know what you're going to get. You wake up every single morning and you understand what's on the other side of that. You understand. You don't want to go over there. Just stay here. That's when that doubt creeps in. You're not smart enough. What do you mean you want to make more money? That's not you. You've made minimum wage your whole life. You've made $15 an hour your whole life. You've never started a business. Come on, you want to lose weight? How many times have you tried in the past to lose weight and that didn't work? What makes you think it's going to work now? That's the kind of noises that are going to be on your shoulder. That's the kind of fixation that's going to be sucking at you. So when you start your journey, it'll trick you to come back. Fear is probably arguably one of the enemy's best tool. For some people, it's the fear of failure. For others, it's the fear of success. But you have to remember what we're going for. Nobody from here is, when you reach this pass, here's the issue with the middle part right here. See, in the middle part, everything that you know, anybody that could potentially support you, you're off in here in no man's land. So they think you're dumb. They think you've lost your mind. They think you're crazy. They think the activity and actions that you're doing, they don't make any sense. Why are you getting up so early and going to the gym? There's no need for that. Why are you not hanging out with us on Sundays? We used to watch football together. We used to have a couple beers. We used to joke. You're not doing that anymore. Or maybe it's corn. Right? What you're watching on your phone or in your computer, it's pulling you back in. Come on, man. Just one time won't hurt. You know, who's going to know about it? But here you are trying to be a better man. It's pulling you back. All these things are going to pull you back. Where over here, see, once you get over here to the end, there's a whole world over here. There's so many people over here. Men, women, young, old. Everyone's over here. There's so many people that have already taken this journey. Once you get here, you're not alone. you'll find out, wow, how did it take me so long to find y'all? And where were y'all at my whole life? Well, they've already went on their journey. There's plenty of people. But in here, in no man's land, there's nobody. So these people can't relate to you. They think you're crazy. And these people don't know you exist. They don't know you exist. You're in the middle of your woods. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're on your hero's journey. They don't know you exist. It's not that they don't care about you. It's not that they don't want you to get here. It's not that they don't believe in you. It's not that they don't even want to give you the information of how they got here. It's they're here. They have arrived. But I hate to spoil it for you. Once you get here, this whole thing starts all over again. Because here then becomes here. And they got to go on a new journey. So for them to see you, that means they're looking back. They're looking in the rearview mirror. And the farther someone is ahead, the more someone is more personally developed than you, the more they've worked on themselves, they realize how detrimental looking in the mirror is. Living life in the past is detrimental. I know you've heard, or you probably heard before, the reason the front windshield is so big compared to your rear view mirror, compared to your side mirrors. Because that's not where you want to spend your time. That's not where you spend your time. You spend your front time looking forward. But not too far forward. You have to be present to where you are so you can push the gas and the brake, pay attention to the speed. Because if you're too far in the future, if you're too far out, that's really daydreaming, right? If you're on a road trip, right, and you're thinking too far ahead of where you're going and what you're going to do when you get there and all this stuff, maybe you're even on the phone talking to someone who is where you want to be, you're not paying attention to what's in front of you, and that also is dangerous. So the truth is, the key is to learn to live in your present moment, to learn to live where you are. Take everything for what it is. So when you're being attacked by the enemy, what is that? That's the enemy attacking you. Nothing other than that. That's all it is. And it all starts with, to conquer this, your thoughts. The enemy is going to attack your thoughts. Everything I said, fear, doubt, shame, those all manifest as thoughts. They're these small seeds that get planted. And if you let them stay, if you let them sink in, they will germinate and they will grow and they will cause a huge problem. And before I forget, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm gonna share two bonuses, because anybody who stays around to the end of this, I know you're serious. So I want to give you two things that I know will help you on this journey. Don't let me forget about that. If you let that seed of negativity, if you let the thought fester, if you let the seed of doubt, fear, envy, jealousy, if you let those take root, it will grow. And eventually it will germinate into something much bigger. Everything has a gestation period, everything. A baby, 9 months. Apple tree, right? You plant it as a seed. Some years later, you have a full-blown apple tree. Everything has a gestation period, as do your thoughts. But the more attention and focus and energy you put on these thoughts, have them be fear, shame, all of that stuff, they'll grow faster. They multiply. And as they grow, if you let them, you will run back to your comfort zone. You will run back to your starting point. And you'll continue to do this over and over and over and over and over. This used to be me. I would go year after year not getting any results. I would go year after year doing the same thing and somehow expecting a different result. What you can probably guess, the different result didn't happen. I had to do something different, and that thing that I had to do different was change my thoughts. I had to get control of my thoughts. I had to learn to manage my emotions. Think about it for a second. What happens to everyone. I remember Jim Rome says that. What happens to everybody. The wind blows on everybody. The only difference is the setting of the sail. When I first heard that, I had no idea what Jim Rome was talking about. It wasn't until probably years later I realized, like, oh, okay. Everybody goes through the same things. Everybody's had money problems. Everybody's had issues with staying consistent. Everybody likes magically delicious treats. Everybody likes all of that. We all go through it. The difference is the thoughts we have. The difference is how we manage our emotions. Everybody does. When things are over here, when things are going good, it's so easy to be happy and joyful and excited, and not excited just for yourself, excited for everybody else. And it's easy to be a good dad. It's easy to be a good husband. It's easy to be a good lover. It's easy to go to the gym. All of that stuff is easy. Until you get out here where you're uncomfortable. You're in a situation where you've never been. That's what dictates a man's real character. Because character is really just an accumulation of your thoughts manifested. That's all your character is. So how are you going to respond when you're being attacked? How are you going to respond to when you're 6 weeks into your plan and you want to quit and you're sick and tired of eating healthy, and you're sick and tired of going to the gym and doing the same thing over and over and over and over? How are you going to handle that? You're sick of showing up to your job and outworking everybody else, and it feels like nobody's giving you the respect that you deserve. You haven't got the raise, and it seems like nobody's watching. How are you going to respond? Someone's always watching. Someone is always watching. And you're rewarded not for the time you spend in the wilderness, not for the time you don't get a pass just because you hung out here for 6 months. Like, okay, God doesn't say, okay, he's been out in the wilderness 6 months now. Let's just push him along. He's a good guy. No. You have to develop yourself. You have to become the man who's worthy of being here. Part of that process is learning to control your thoughts. Why? Why is this so important? Why am I harping on this? Because some of you guys are probably like, okay, I got it. Go on, get to the next thing. This is what everybody does. Everybody wants the how-to. Everybody wants the strategy. What's the strategy? What exactly do I do? It's different for you. You realize I've been talking about fitness, I've been talking about finance, I've been talking about relationships, I've been talking about marriage, and this works for all of those. How could I possibly tell you specifically in this video what's going to work for you? But that's irrelevant. You don't need, you're worrying about the wrong thing, and I'm telling you because this is what I used to do. I was always looking for strategies and how-tos and what's the secret, and there's got to be something else. No, I'm giving you everything. So why am I harping on thoughts? Because what do thoughts eventually become? Your thoughts become your beliefs. Well, what do your beliefs turn into? Your beliefs turn into your actions. What do your actions turn into? Your actions eventually turn in to your results when it's done over time. How do you get through this journey? How do you make it from your starting point to the end of your journey? Getting your thoughts straight, working on the 6 inches between your ears, the matter that makes up your skull. Getting that right, your thoughts. Because eventually your thoughts will become your beliefs. And your beliefs manifest through your actions. You will not do something long term that you do not believe in. You won't follow someone you don't believe in. You won't stay adherent to a program you don't believe in. You won't stay with a woman you don't believe in. Nothing. Eventually your actions are going to manifest your actual beliefs. And if you're not doing the appropriate actions, whether that be eating what you need to eat, whether that be going to the gym, whether that be saving, whatever it might be, if you're not doing the correct actions, you will not get the correct outcome. This is why most people fail. Like this video is for a very specific person. Majority of people, they've already swiped to another video. They're just looking for a dopamine hit. They're just looking for a quick fix. This video is not a quick fix. There's no magic happening in this video. It's me talking / yelling / sharing the actual information. Truth. But here's the thing about truth. Truth works for anybody. Truth is consistent and always will be consistent. Always. Always. That's what's so beautiful about this journey. The good and the evil, they're predictable. I can tell you what's going to happen because evil is predictable. It's used the same plays for years and years and years. Fear, guilt, shame, envy, vanity. Same playbook. Hasn't changed. Go back to what corrupted a man in 1920. Go back to what corrupted and broke a man down and stopped him from reaching his journey in 1960. It's the same thing. Maybe it was lust for money. Maybe it was lust for women. Maybe it was idolatry. Something. It's the same. Nothing has changed. This is what makes this so powerful. It's truth. Nothing has changed. So listen, this is the hero's journey. It's a journey. It's something that you go on. It's a process that you're going to have to go through. It's not something that just happens. It's a journey. But I promise you, I'm going to give you a bonus. Luckily, I just remembered that, but I promise you this is worth it. I want to give you some tools that will help you succeed in this journey. There's a lot, but I'm going to give you 2. And I never ask you guys to comment or share this video. I'm going to ask you, especially if you've gotten this far, I'll know who's gotten this far. Comment below and tell me your biggest takeaway from this video. Because I think I'm going to make if I get enough comments, I'm going to do a second one. If you guys got value, if you didn't get value from it, I'm not going to do a second one. Because there's so much more I could give you here. There's so much more we could dig in, but I'm not going to do that if no one wants it. And then the second thing I would ask, if you got value from this, if there was something in here that resonated with you, other men needed, I promise you, share it with them. I never ask you to do these 2 things. So So two things I will rec. Two resources, powerful resources. So probably hold it to the camera. As a Man Thinketh. Hopefully you can see that. By James Allen. All right, the enemy's obviously doing his thing. Video cut out, but that's okay. So that's As a Man Thinketh. That's the first one. And then the second one is Outwitting the Devil. Now, when it comes to Outwitting the Devil, this is a phenomenal read. My suggestion would be get the audio version of this. I'm a very big hands-on, make notes type of guy. But for this one, the audio is it's impeccable. And as soon as you get it, you'll understand why. I have both. So if you do like it's like, I'm a man, like I like, writing, so I like physical too, but I would strongly suggest getting that in the audio. So that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys got some value, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.